Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. It's not Sunday, but it's your girl, Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach. And we're still here for Success Starter Series, even though it's not Sunday. Because y'all know, normally we go live at not 6. We normally go live on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to help y'all get y'all week for success. Because in getting your week set up for success, you're doing the work to get your life set up for success. But I was living my best life and I was with my family. And so I got back today, but I didn't want to leave y'all hanging. And I still wanted to be able to come live and give you the information that will hopefully help you to do the part to set your week up for success. Because for me, my week is officially starting today because I'm having to do essentially a reset. The things that I talk about doing on the weekends, doing my brain dump, making my to-do list, getting myself together, though some of that was previously done. And I think this week's Success Starter series flows right in line with that. And so I wanted to make sure that we were still able to have that conversation, because today's conversation is about talking about working smarter, not working harder, and talking about how you can have those productivity tips, tools, hacks, whatever you want to call them, that actually work. And so you don't have to wait until a Saturday or Sunday or whatever the case may be in order to reset. Any day is an opportunity to reset. And so we're going to get into it as we really get into the topics. But as your productivity and accountability coach, y'all know I'm all about helping you to find that hidden time in your day. Time that you can use to pour back into yourself as you pursue your goals, your purpose, your life passions, while still maintaining your current responsibilities and taking care of yourself. And so when we look at it, we think about how when it comes to resetting, you don't need a specific day of the week, a specific time of the day, or anything like that in order to reset. But what you need to do is find ways to work smarter. When we talk about finding hidden time in your day, when we talk about being and becoming the best version of yourself, that's really about working smarter. And so with me coming back earlier today from being with my family and having to, unpack, get myself essentially situated, getting myself together to go back to work in the morning, hopping right back into my morning routine, getting up at 2:30 and all of that, I needed to today especially optimize and prioritize my time to make sure that I worked smarter, because I had things to do. Not only did I want to, in my mind, have to, but want to get unpacked, get back situated, get my house back in order. I had 3 podcast interviews scheduled and a coaching call all scheduled for today because it was my off day, so I was making sure I was maximizing my time. And so in the midst of that, once I got back home, I didn't do my workout because, checkout time with the Airbnb. This morning, I didn't do my workout or go for my run and or walk this morning. So when I got back home, got unloaded, I had a little bit over an hour until I had about an hour and a half maybe or close to that until it's going to be time for my first podcast interview. So in order for me to work smarter, I set a timer for 30 minutes. That 30 minutes was for me to unload the car, unload everything, get as much stuff unpacked, put up, organized as I could, and left me enough time to get my workout in, because in getting my workout in, I would then be on the computer to be ready for the podcast interview. And then after the podcast interview, I had like an hour and a half until the next one. So I was like, okay, bam, perfect. I can go for my walk, come back, do a 30-minute session of unpacking, getting that together before coming back and doing it all over again for coaching call, and then having this break here where I'm going live before last podcast interview of the night. And so when you look at it, when you really think about working smarter, we're going to use the lead method to help guide us through this process. We need to look. You need to look at what it is you needed to do. What is it that you need to do in order to make this day productive, make this day successful? And so when I looked at that, for me, I thought about, I know I have these things that are like hard stops, whatever word you want to use, on the calendar. How can I use that time and the time that's around that to get done these other things that I need to get done to get myself together? And so by understanding the non-negotiables, i.e. the podcast interviews and the coaching calls, and then, though in essence, my workout and my walk is honestly a non-negotiable as well, but those are non-negotiables that didn't have fixed times and when they needed to get done. For me, when I come back from a trip, come back from vacation, I don't like having my suitcase laying around. I don't like the stuff being around. I thrive in structure. And so I need to get that stuff put up as well. And so in understanding that and looking at that, let's go with the L here, I was able to kind of create this game plan. Like I even made a mini to-do list just for today of what needs to happen and what do I need to get done. Like what are the non-negotiables? They said a couple other things that I would love to get done if I have the time and things like that. But what were the non-negotiables? And so the first thing I kind of want to talk about, which we've already started talking about in the look aspect, is looking at what is it that you need to do. Because we often think and we often say that we have to do it all. There's so much things that we have to do. And even in me making my list, I made the list of the things that had to get done today. And I had those other things that were like, these would be nice to get done, but here are the non-negotiables, and then here are like the bonus if I have time tasks. And so you need to look at and you need to understand that when it comes to streamlining your schedule, when it comes to working smarter and especially not working harder, you have to really think about what can you do and how can you show up in a way that's not going to kill your productivity, kill your momentum. And actually, I was just getting off a coaching call a little bit ago, like 30-40 minutes ago, and we were talking about even how when it comes to us putting things on our to-do list and making our schedule, she was finding that it was taking longer to get things done. We always think we have more time than we actually have. We always think we can get more things done than we potentially actually can. And so one trick that I try to do for myself and what I was suggesting for her is add at least 15 minutes to whatever it is. However long you think it's going to take you to do it, add at least 15 minutes. Best case scenario, you get it done in the amount of time that you thought it was going to actually take, and now you have 15 minutes to transition to the next task. Go grab a snack, take a restroom break, decompress your mind. So look at the thought that you have to do it all, and let's flip that. Because in order to really work smarter, in order to really get more done, we have to be specific about the things we're trying to get done and figuring out how can that best serve us and understand the non-negotiables. And so after that, if you're able to look at what are the non-negotiables, what is it that you need to do, what does doing it all actually look like or mean for you, you're then able to really examine and really think about, are there things that I can delegate to someone else? Or are these things that I have to do? Are there things that I can like automate or create systems for if they can't be truly automated, but that kind of create these triggers to fire? And so in the same coaching call, we were also talking about like, okay, we have these things we need to do. We have these deadlines. We have these support systems. Are there some things that can be delegated to a secretary, to a paralegal, to some support staff that would ultimately help you? Even if it's a matter of them saying, you tell me where the priority is. You tell me what I should be focusing on, and then utilizing that to help you to decide, to really examine, how can I best spend my time? How can I best get this done? Because working smarter means sometimes you're not the person that does that initial task. You might be the person that finishes the task, or it might be the case where you start the task and someone else finishes the task, depending on what it is and depending on the roles and the collaboration that you have going. And so when you really look at what all do I need to do, you're then able to examine of that what all that needs to get done, what of it is actually something that you need to do versus someone else. Because if you can understand and identify that, you can start working to create processes and systems that will streamline it. Y'all know I'm hosting the Master Your Mornings Masterclass, and if you don't, I'm holding a masterclass Saturday, March 29th called Master Your Mornings, which in that masterclass and in the idea of creating a morning routine, you're working to figure out how to streamline and create a system or a habit or a routine that will work to allow your morning to flow best and your morning to flow better. And so with that, you're automating essentially your morning routine by understanding that first I get up, I do X, Y, and Z, and then after that comes A, B, and C, or whatever that looks like for you. And so you have to have a way to look at the idea and the thought behind what all is it that I need to do. You need to examine, do you need to do those things, or is it something that can be delegated? And then understanding that, you can then go about executing and actually doing it. Because when we really look at it and really think about it, when we talk about working smarter, that's how we have to ultimately show up in the day-to-day aspects of life. And so the reason that I always talk about doing a brain dump, making a to-do list over the weekend, is because that allows you to have that reset that you need to set yourself up for a stress-free and organized week, and organized time, and in understanding that and in having that, that allows you to then flow better into your week. And so even for me, and the reason why this topic is timely is coming off of being with my family for the last 5 days, or however you want to call it, Friday through today. I knew that, yes, I got some things done when I was away. I posted my completed to-do list. I posted my to-do list for the week. I did a coaching consult call. I did, get my workouts in. I did eat, healthy, things like that, drink my water, things like that. But there were things that I also didn't do. I didn't go to bed at my normal time. I did not wake up at my normal time. I was going to bed at the time I normally wake up. And because of that, I needed to get myself back together. And so by me coming home and literally setting those 30-minute timers for me to unload the car, get as much stuff done as I can, putting up the food that I need to go in the refrigerator, things like that, and just getting done and getting rid of the things that were easy to quick pass, let's get this done. And then going from there and doing that 30-minute timer to do that other set of things. And in the course of that, all my stuff is put up, suitcases put up, food is put up, dirty clothes are put up, lotions, all the things are put up. And I even reconfirmed, because the weather changed a little bit, that my workout clothes for the week are picked out, my work clothes for the week are picked out. I'm good, I'm ready, I'm situated, and I'm settled. And I'm ready to get back into and go back into my day tomorrow. And so while tomorrow might be my first day at work for the week, and so it might feel like a Monday, I'm really jumping into the middle of the week. I'm jumping into the week at hump day. And so I'm able to know that I know what I needed to do. I got done what I needed to do to prepare. I have, let me see. We'll go live. I'm doing that now. I have 2 to 3 things left that I wrote down on my to-do list for today that I wanted to get done. I have the podcast interview in a little bit, and then I want to update my dry erase board because I haven't updated that, obviously, for the week. And then I wanted to do a brain dump because I started thinking about some things that I have upcoming and that I want to plan on and think on. And so I just want to take a couple minutes and write those things down. All of those things, the podcast interview is going to take an hour. But besides that, updating the board and doing that brain dump, 30 minutes, if that. And so once I finish this live, I might have enough time to honestly do both of those things, eat dinner and be ready for the podcast. But if not, I'm going to eat dinner. And then we'll worry about those other 2 things after that, because those were those extra bonus tasks that I was talking about that aren't non-negotiables that needed and had to get done. And so I want you to start looking at how can you work smarter in the things that you're looking to do. How can you really work smarter? Look at it, think about it. Create a game plan to execute on it. How can you work smarter instead of working harder as you continue to go forth through this week? I know it's Tuesday. I know the week done started. But even at the fact that we're a couple days past the halfway point of this month. So as you're going through this month, what is that you need to do to streamline your schedule, to streamline your systems, to stop wasting your time? Because productivity and getting things done is simple. The way I set that 30-minute timer, that's a hack that you can use to keep yourself focused. Again, going back to the coaching call, even with that, she had left work a little bit early to go home. And so she's like, I'm going to need to work a little bit late. And one thing we've been working on is not bringing work home and not working late. But being that she was leaving work early to go pick up the kids, and today was her work late day, that was a sacrifice that she made. And so I was like, you can communicate that. Hey, left work early when this is my work late day. In order to do these things, I'm setting a timer, and I'm setting it audibly. Google, Alexa, Siri, kitchen, oven, stove, whatever. When this goes off, I'm done. I'm giving myself an hour, up to an hour, hopefully less, but I'm giving myself an hour to get these things done in the time that I would have normally been at work. And so what does that look like? What does that mean? And how can you go about creating those things for yourself? You have to look at what is it that you're doing. What is your thoughts around feeling like you have to do it all? Examining what systems do you need? How can you edit? How can you automate? How can you delegate? And then having that game plan to execute by doing and having this weekly reset of creating and understanding the priorities for this week and utilizing that to get yourself organized, to get yourself together, to really be able to show up and to get things done. Because all of this works well because it goes back to how you start your day and the intentions and things like that that you set for your day. Because even though I was out of my element, even though my morning wake up time might not have been my same morning wake up time, every day, besides today, I woke up, got my workout in. Whether I got in 1 or 2, I got my workout in because Sunday I had weekend duty. So I was able to get in my stretch workout before going to work. And then when I came back, similar to what I would do on a Sunday, got my second workout in. Today I woke up and I did some of my reading. So I did part of my morning routine, but I didn't make it to the workout part because of having to, get everything together and get checked out of the Airbnb. But all of these, like the ability to work smarter, the ability to, work smarter and not work harder, really comes back to your morning routines, how you start your day, the way in which you fuel and energize yourself, the way in which you find the time to make these things happen. And understanding and having a simple morning routine, because I have one, and even though I didn't necessarily do all elements of it back to back to back like I would normally do at home, I still had that morning routine that kept me focused, that helped me to understand and know how long I normally need for my morning routine. And so being able to identify what portions of it do I have time to do right now versus what do I potentially need to move around helps with the time management aspect, honestly. And it helped me to reset and to be able to be focused as I moved forward and got done the things that I needed to get done. And so I want you to really think about the myth and the thought behind feeling like you have to do it all. Look at that and really think about what are your thoughts around that. I want you to examine what can you automate, what can you delegate, what can you take off the plate, and then I want you to ultimately execute by having and doing that weekly reset. If you're like me, you've been out of the loop, off the grid a little bit, or just didn't get to it this weekend, now's the time to do a quick reset. Set you a timer for 30 minutes. Everything that you're thinking about, get it out of your head, get it onto paper, and do something that will help you to prep yourself for the rest of this week. And like the consult call that I was doing on Sunday, like she works mostly the weekend. So she was saying how Thursdays is her meal prep day, essentially to prep her food for her work days, because she works Friday, Saturday, Sunday outside of the home. And so in prepping and in preparing, that's part of her reset to prepare herself for the week. And so you can have that, you should have that, and you need to have that. And so I just wanted to pop on here real quick, but it might not be real quick now, for what would have been our Sunday Success Starter series, but I wanted to utilize what literally I've walked through this week in being able to work smarter and to understand my non-negotiables and getting the things done that I needed to get done without the stress, without the overwhelm, without feeling like I was working that hard. And looking at these slight tweaks, these slight hacks, these slight tips and tools, or whatever you want to call them, that will actually work to help you to show up, to be able to look, to be able to examine, and to create your game plan to execute. And so if you're looking to learn more about the Master Your Mornings Masterclass, you can comment the word morning below or head to the link in bio to get registered for it. Free masterclass, Saturday, March 29th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's time for you to have your reset routine, your morning routine, those things that are going to help you go forth and prosper through in all things. But until next time, it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Tuesday, but what normally is a Sunday for Success Starter series. We'll be back on Sunday, same place, same time, original time. But yeah, until next time, Coach Lee is out.